friends, welcome back to Storytime with Mr. L. Today we're going to be looking at a graphic novel from Gratz, Refugee. Now this is the graphic novel version of his novel about three kids who are all escaping different situations in their lives. So this is the graphic novel version of that book. This is about Joseph, who is escaping from Germany. Joseph's a Jewish child in the late 1930s trying to escape Nazi Germany and taking this ship, a true story of a ship that went from Germany to Cuba, and the journey that these 900 people from Germany take in terms of trying to find a safe place to live and escape from the Nazis. There's also the second story in here about Isabel in 1994 trying to escape Cuba in the years after the Soviet Union collapsed. Cuba was having a lot of hard times because they weren't getting food from the Soviets anymore, and they were having starvation problems and just issues with all sorts of infrastructure. And in 1994, Castro opened the doors and said people could actually leave. And so it's a story of Isabel and her family trying to escape to the United States, and in a boat, in a raft, that's just basically put together with planks and this and that, and how that happened and their escape and what happened. And then the third story is about Mahmoud, who's from Aleppo, Syria in 2015, and looking at that civil war in Syria and all the horrible things that have taken place and continue to take place in Syria today, and about his family trying to escape from Syria and get across Turkey and get into Europe and take a raft to Greece, and the chaos with all of that, and then trying to get from Greece up to Germany and crossing Europe. And the stories in here, obviously it's historical fiction, so the kids aren't real, but the stories are true and the stories are real. And what I love about a graphic novel, Refugee is a great book, and if you haven't read it by Gratz, everything by Gratz is great, but it's a powerful novel. But putting it into graphic novel form really opens it up to a whole new audience of readers who might not be ready or willing to tackle a big, thick chapter book. Also, I think the great thing about graphic novels, it allows our kids to read about topics and issues and themes that they might not read in a quote-unquote regular book, chapter book. And so, having our kids read about the escape from Germany, or things that are happening in Cuba in the 90s, or things that are happening in Syria in the 2010s and currently in the 2020s, I just think a book like this opens so many doors to new ideas, new information, and maybe some questions our kids have. So this is a great book, Gratz, Refugee, graphic novel. Enjoy it. Have a good time. Happy reading. Bye.